So learn something new today in our new world order and living off of ZoomChat. I don't know if you all see, but on the bottom bar, do you see the little tab that says reactions? Yes, Kelsey. If you see it, post a reaction. It's a very cool feature. I fully expect that ZoomChat will continue to get more sophisticated and updated now that more and more people are using it. But I thought that was a really cool thing because especially when having large conversations too, so that we can all, if your camera is on and you're muted, you can still react to something, respond to something as a group too, which is very cool. I'm sure they'll get more. Yes, exactly, BoBeen. It works. Oh, even when your camera isn't on, it works. That's cool. Okay, we'll just get started in a minute. We'll just wait another minute and then we'll get started. We're at right now as we get on, because we just, I think we just sent out another reminder message. Is that right, Tracy? Yeah. So we might have some folks joining us in just a bit. It just hit at 11:02. Yeah. So here we go. We're starting to get populated. Okay, let's just wait. For those of you that have been on since 11, thank you. Let's just wait another minute or so because I think folks are just responding to the email message that we sent out. Again, have some folks joining us as we continue the conversation, but want to be respectful of everyone's time, especially those that have joined us on time. Welcome to the DC Collaborative's weekday daily Zoom chat. I'm Lissa, the director of the collaborative, and appreciate you all joining us today. And I'm very grateful to our team at the collaborative for setting up these resources for our community. And we'll be on this Zoom chat every weekday as long as we're all teleworking. We're here for you. And this will be an opportunity for us to share what we know that's happening in the arts and humanities education community space in the district, as well as hear from you all on what you're thinking of, what you have been working on, what contingency planning you have as things evolve, what new great initiatives you're thinking of as we move forward through the rest of 2020, which is a very strange year indeed. We were just looking at the numbers, Tracey and I, 2020, and they looked really weird to us. And indeed, it's a weird year. And I remember when I was younger, I would always think, I actually didn't think beyond 2020, which I'm not Nostradamus, I'm not prophetic, but it was just such a weird number, I think, for so many reasons. And everyone would always talk about 2020, the year 2020, when I was a kid. So here we are, and it's a crazy year. But we're super excited because today, the DC Collaborative is officially launching our distance learning portal. Today is the first official day for DC Public School students and their families and caregivers to start distance learning. So we thought today was an awesome day to officially kick it off. That said, the DC Collaborative quite rapidly came up with the idea of and developed, thanks to many of our members and practitioner teaching artists, this resource. So today is our official launch day of it to coincide with the official launch day of distance learning for DCPS students. And we also know that's probably the case for charter students as well, if that is available at their schools. But this resource is available to all students, parents, caregivers, teachers here in the district, and even beyond. I think it's a great resource that, and Tracey has posted the link in the chat, so take a look. This is a great resource that also showcases what the DC, District of Columbia, Arts and Humanities Education community, cultural institutions, teaching artists and the like, produce and provide. And I think that this is something that it's a resource that could be used nationally as well. And hopefully this, this will continue to be populated with more great programming from all of you, our members, and we will continue to promote it, push it out, and then hopefully very soon when we all can open our doors again and resume what will be our new norm of public programming, this resource will still exist. It will still endure. It's one of those new ideas, those new flowers that are just blossoming as a result of the need. But now we have this great resource as a community that we'll continue to maintain moving forward. So for those of you that are on camera, or as I had shared earlier, if you scroll down to the landing dock for ZoomChat, there's a wonderful feature called Reactions, and I just gave a thumbs up. How many of you participated in yesterday's ZoomChat? The town hall with David Markey and Mary Lambert. Okay, quite a few of you did. What did you guys think of the conversation? For those of you that participated, pretty good. Thumbs up. Yeah. Any thoughts? Go ahead and unmute yourselves if you want to share. Like, what were some of the key takeaways that you would want to share with folks on the Zoom chat right now that didn't have a chance to participate? But by the way, we do have the full thing archived, recorded, with notes, thanks to Tracy, on our website, so you can watch it later because it was a really good one. But would anyone, and Tracy just posted it in the chat, would anyone who was on the line yesterday like to share some thoughts from yesterday's conversation? Terry, if you want to unmute yourself. Yeah. You're still muted. Whoops. There you go. Okay.
Okay. I was particularly proud of DCPS yesterday and what they put together for distance learning for our students, for our parents. I think that they've really done a great job. I was very proud of Mary, and I told her that yesterday. With David, I think we were fortunate to have David on board yesterday to give us kind of like an overview of what's going on with the commission and what we might be able to expect from them in the future or not expect from them in the future. So I thought that yesterday was enlightening.
It was, indeed.
And
Thanks
will help move us forward. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing, Terry. And also just know that as we shared in yesterday's Zoom chat, which had about 74 people at one point on, which was pretty amazing. We've asked David and Mary to come back weekly for regular check-ins, and it looks like Monday might be the day that they will be participating. We'll double, triple check that, and we'll be announcing that. But yeah, Tracy's like thumbs up, yes. Okay, what we're looking to do for the collaborative to service all of us, to service you all, is look at different themes for different days each week as well. But it looks like Monday's daily Zoom chat will include David and Mary for any updates that they may have or updates that we would want to provide to them as the community. So just know that, and we'll share that message out moving forward. Anyone else who was on yesterday that wanted to share some thoughts, feedback about the session? And please introduce yourselves and your name of your organization if you'd like. You can also include that in the chat too, just so we can record everyone that's participating. And again, as I say in all these chats, we are recording these sessions and we are archiving them on our COVID response resource landing page, which Tracy will forward that link and share that with you all too in just a minute. But anyone else? Tom, would you like to share some thoughts?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I got a lot out of it. I got to speak to Trés a little bit. I'm trying to put distance learning material on my own website. And I guess that's all right to do that, right?
Yep, absolutely. In fact, yep.
Okay, and then you're also on the official website of DC. Okay.
Yeah, so on the DC Collaborative Distance Learning online portal, we already have over 60 submissions, which is pretty terrific. And each of the discipline areas and grades are populated with materials already. So we've been able, thanks to you all, we've been able to get a lot of great material set up already. As soon as you send those materials, we will do our best in very quick time to upload them to the portal. So it is really important for you to fill out the form. And if you need help in creating new material or help with completing that survey, you can reach out to us and reach out to Trés. And that is all on the portal itself. Tracey, would you mind just, maybe we should take the time now. Would you just open up and share where the DC Collaborative landing page and then walk through the portal too? Walk through the online resource, sorry, as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and share my screen with all of you. It's on. So on our homepage, so dccollaborative.org, you can scroll down in a pretty prominent spot on our website. On the right-hand side, it says Program Quick Links. The Distance Learning Resource Database is here along with the COVID-19 updates and resources. And we've also added a Cherry Blossom Festival Student Art Contest Gallery for those who participated in the contest. The COVID-19 updates and resources, very briefly, because a lot of you were on the past calls, is where the recording archive lives for each of these sessions that Lissa was referencing. You can access the distance learning resource database from here, fill out surveys, which I will put up really soon. And also, Lissa, did you want me to go through the database?
Yeah, let me just show it again real quick since it is our official debut day.
Okay, great. So Trés has architected this wonderful database. He really came to it with a lot of energy and built this whole website and collected information within a week. So he was pretty fantastic. But the whole team is focusing on it as a priority. We've divided up all of our members and have been offering one-on-one help with the resources. But since Trés is our education program manager, if you have resource ideas that you're thinking about developing, you can reach out to him. Now his inbox is pretty full, so we'll all support him if necessary, but he is a great person to brainstorm with. But basically, our resources are divided up into visual arts, performing arts, and humanities disciplines. And each discipline has different age levels. Early childhood, we're collecting resources from 0 to 5. So that's babies all the way up through pre-K 4 and kindergarten. And then we have elementary school resources, middle school, and high school for each one. So I can show you an example of one. Humanities Middle School has quite a few. And then on the bottom of the footer of every page, there's a way that organizations could submit resources to. But the Pulitzer Center on Crisis Reporting submitted several resources, as many of you have. The top part where the title of the resource is links to that resource. It has a description, what content areas it covers, and some organizations provide more specific standards and curriculum connections than others, and as well as if the resource is downloadable or not. Some are like PDFs that you can print out. Others go to a website. The Pulsar Center has a lesson builder that has a bunch of online resources in it. They highlighted the ones in our database that were DC curriculum like specific or really connected to DC. So if you are a national organization and have national resources, please send those to us too. But be thinking about how to highlight the individual DC resources in there as well. So the additional resources page includes a lot of these national resources from DC-based organizations and organizations outside of DC. We're continuing to add to this. Our inboxes are a little bit flooded at the moment because so many of you have been sending us great resources, and it's awesome. So thank you. And then the professional development tab is, I keep using the word resources. I'm noticing that now, but the professional development tab has materials for for teachers and parents to help them with their distance learning instruction. So that's all on this page. We created a community at dccollaborative.org calendar for those who are sharing virtual events online. Right now, because of DCPS privacy, until we find out more about events for students, we are only sharing professional development events. Right now, our ZoomChats are on here. We'll get through our email inboxes and add some of these other events that you guys have sent us. But the easiest way to add resources, the easiest way to add your virtual events and professional development to this calendar is to invite community at DC Collaborative. I just noticed community at dccollaborative.org to the event on a calendar, and once we accept the event, it'll populate here automatically. Lissa, do you have anything to add about the resource? It's just so exciting that something so beautiful came out of a worldwide pandemic, but
yeah, totally, exactly. That is the sentiment. I think we've created something beautiful during a really strange and scary time, and something that we know will be helpful for so many. And it's also a way for us as a community to show our support and our strength. So we should all feel good about this today. If there's one thing to feel good about, it's this resource. And for those of you that haven't uploaded to it yet, and are now planning to create new materials, I hope that this has inspired you, and also know that this is the way we all have to think right now. This is how we can serve our students and their parents and caretakers, as well as our teachers and ourselves. So we're really proud of this resource. We could never have made it without all of us and our membership. So we're really proud of you as well. And know that this link lives on DCPS's distance learning portal as a resource. And we will be looking at some Google Analytics to be able to see how many folks are coming on. We haven't figured out yet how to determine how many folks are going to specific resources, but we'll be working on that. Right now we can tell if someone goes on to one of the discipline areas and a grade band. But eventually we'll get data, hopefully, to you all to also share how many click-throughs we think we're getting for your programs too. But that's to come. But know that that's something we're thinking about as well. This is officially launching at 12 noon. There'll be a large email broadcast going out that you'll receive through Constant Contact. For members, you will also receive an additional message. We ask that you share this resource with your entire education database and as well. Proudly promote this as something that we as the community are doing together. And we'll also be sending an announcement to all of the DC public and public charter school educators on our list, which is over 700, as well as every principal in the DC public schools. We'll also make sure that the DC Public Charter School Board circulates this to all of the charters as well. And the collaborative will also be sending this to our donor population so that they see what the community response has been and what we're working on together as a community. So know that this week we'll be pushing this out as a new product from DC's Arts and Humanities Education community. And it's still populating every day as new materials come in. And that calendar is going to be the next wave of what we do to help provide more opportunities as we extend what we anticipate this work through the next several months, possibly more. We just don't know. So this will be a very vital resource for our community. Another thing for those of you that are DC Collaborative members, we're going to be sending a survey. There's a link to it in that message that goes our general message, but we'll be sending another message. You'll see that survey will be in there. And I know you all are incredibly busy right now, but this survey is so that we can help. It helps us to help you all. We have been asked by funders from the DC community to get a landscape of what is happening. So this data is not just going to live with DC Collaborative to determine how the collaborative can service all of us, but really to take to key stakeholders to share what the landscape is in DC Arts and Humanities Education and the institutions and individuals that are supporting this work need to see what's happening, and hopefully that will help them determine where they're going to be able to put resources for us moving forward. So please, I know you're very busy, but by close of business Friday, if you could complete that survey. We didn't time how long it takes to complete, but I don't think it'll take very long. But some of the questions, if you're not your development director, or you're not overseeing fundraising, or your overall institution operations, you might want to check in with your team on a couple of the questions. But I think it should be a pretty easy survey to complete. So, and we do have some considerations in there for teaching artists as well, because we know how important it is for us to be tracking the needs of all of our stakeholders. So again, can't emphasize enough, please be on the lookout for that survey. Please complete that by close of business this Friday so we can get that information out to other stakeholders in our community that can help us.
Addie, you raised your hand. Do you have a question?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just curious. I received an email from NAEA last Friday from Mario, actually, that they are sort of in the initial planning stages of developing a remote learning toolkit, which sounds very similar to what we've been developing. And I'm just wondering if anyone at the collaborative or anyone in this group has talked to anyone at NAEA. It seems like we might be duplicating some work potentially, and how we might share the resources that we've already submitted through the collaborative's website. Yeah.
Sure. Have not talked directly to Mario. I think what's happening, I know that SAEACA, I never get their acronym right, also has a toolkit that looks similar to what we have right now for distance learning. What makes ours unique is that it's focused on the DC organizations, and these are national organizations that are creating national platforms. So what we'll do for Next Wave is we'll list them in the supplementary materials that are on our portal, on our database. But for us, and hopefully the same info that they're collecting is similar in content, and I'll follow up with Mario for sure. Just so your work isn't as challenged, but know that our focus is on the DC resources, the DC community, because our goal is to make sure that our students are getting local supports so that when we are able to become operational again, there is continuity and they will come back to our organizations in the district. And because DC is so rich with so many amazing cultural institutions and teaching practitioners, having a DC specific resource does make a lot of sense. If we were in some other part of the country, we would probably want to focus on our local assets and resources too, but would probably rely more upon those national associations. I think it's great that they're creating those resources, and they will break down. I saw the one that I mentioned by either region or state as well. But we'll make sure the collaborative will follow up, and I hope that it's not too much redundancy or duplicative information for you to have to input. But the DC one is so important because this is what we can leverage for DC families to get to know more about you as well. Think about it. These are parents that are going to be looking at these materials, not just the teachers and kiddos. These are parents, caretakers, families. You know, the idea, we always talk about this in Best of Times, that we want to see return engagement. We don't want students just to have a field trip experience, which is important in itself, but we want to see students coming back to our museums, coming back to our community resources, utilizing members of our community, teaching artists. So that's why this portal, this online resource, the R word, is so important for us as a community. But you raised a really good point, Addie. So thanks for sharing that. And we'll definitely follow up with Mario for sure.
Yeah, great. Thanks. I just, yeah, I'm just trying to sort of manage from sort of individual arts organizations' perspectives, how we can be of the most support without a lot of duplicative work.
Sure.
And I will say, and this is something I should say offline, but I want to fill out a form for every resource we have. I will say that there's one sort of glitch in the form as it stands, that it says that we don't have to fill out our name and our email and several other sort of cells if we've already filled out a form, but those are all still considered required answers. So that would be super helpful, and it would make things go a lot faster if we didn't have to continuously fill out those 4 like bits of information. So
yeah. Tracy, can you?
Does that make sense, Tracy? I think I sent an email about it, but yeah.
I will fix it right now while we're.
That's great.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, because we do need, and that's an important point too, Addie, for anyone who has more than one resource, you do have to post them, upload them as individual resources, because remember, they're going to populate into different grade bands, different disciplines. They need to be unique. A unique form has to be created, but yeah, we don't want you to have to redo basic information. And Tracy's going to fix that right now. Thank you for catching that glitch. Yeah, we don't want extra work for you after we just talked about the national awards too. Oh my gosh. That's an important thing to catch. Thanks. Anyone else have any thoughts, questions? Want to blow a little steam? Whatever, we're here for you. Tom, go for it.
At some point, I'll need to meet with DC educators to develop more programming. I've got it started, but I need to talk to somebody in the system about making material that matches the curriculum.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So for curricular connections, maybe what we can do is, and we talked about this last week, we tried to have start a conversation around this last Friday, on Friday. Maybe we can look at DCPS arts team. Right now, they've been really busy just getting all the distance material prepared and launched for today, since today is the students' first day of actual distance learning. Because remember, they pushed their spring break up last week and Monday to help get all of the educators and all the online materials ready. Maybe what we could do is ask some of the team members from DCPS Arts to join us on a conversation specifically where they could answer some questions, and then if they have the time to set up one-on-one conversations with you to help you make those connections. Just know that they're probably very, very busy right now, but that might be one way we could help support that. And we could probably take a look at some of that as well, but it might be best for it to go through that central portal Does anyone else have any thoughts or suggestions? This would be a great time for community mentors to come in and help a friend, help a fellow colleague out, maybe create a buddy system. Anyone else have any ideas or thoughts they could share with for Tom?
Okay, well, maybe we can work on this next week.
Yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense. So that's what I would suggest. And from our end, we will do our best to help you out and try and see if we can get our DCPS Arts Central team on or connected with you, but on for a community conversation on the portal. Yeah, Tracy?
So in the springtime, typically we have connecting to curriculum workshops. So that could be a focus of some of these chats moving forward. So just to try to create like a sense of normalcy. Every spring we'll do these connecting to curriculum workshops. So we will work on that moving forward too.
Okay, I remember you telling me about that connecting curriculum in the spring.
Yeah.
I'll hold my thoughts for that.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, actually, Tracy brought up something important, and that is part of why this portal is so important too. We want to create a sense of consistency and continuity for when things ramp up and go back to our new norm. But those connecting to curriculum workshops that we've conducted in the past have been super helpful for our community, and it does bridge and go beyond just DCPS Arts. We've also had representatives from DCPS, DC public charter schools participate, as well as other discipline areas like ELA, social studies, because this is important, because remember, the work we do, it's not just about enriching, supporting arts and humanities learning opportunities, but it goes across many disciplines. So we've been in rapid response mode this last week, but the collaborative hopes to resume some of its normal programming very soon too. So yeah, so be on the lookout for online iterations of our connecting to curriculum workshops.
And additionally, we are creating listservs where you can, Lissa mentioned a buddy system or something like that. You can put out stuff that you need help with. And even though people are probably pretty busy right now, I've seen like sharing and collaborating that people seem to have that energy for that. So Trés and the DC Collaborative team can be a resource eventually when it slows down just a little bit. And then we'll have these listservs that will be available very soon.
Yeah. Some other ideas that have come up I see in the chats. Indeed, Mary and David will be joining us for weekly catch-ups. It looks like it'll be on Mondays, Zoom chats. So when Mary's on with us again, absolutely we should ask her if there could be a way for some of you that would like to be taken through Canvas and show some high points on how it could be used. If it doesn't happen during that particular Zoom chat, we could probably set up another conversation. That's a great idea. I'm also just looking at some chat. Oh, Karen again. As far as getting the word out about this resource, the collaborative will be sharing it with our media list, with our donor list. And those are some of the individual messages I'll be putting out later today, those two categories for sure. That does include Washington RAG, the Regional Area Grant Makers. And again, for those of you that were on earlier conversations, earlier Zoom chats, I did have a very good conversation with our main contact at the K-Fritz Foundation, who's in the process of doing their own assessment of their grantees and figuring out what the needs are of the community. And that is why that particular question in this survey that we're sending out to members and members is so important, because that is information that will go back to K-Fritz, other grant makers, as well as the RAG folks. I know that K-Fritz team, I think they lead some of the education, arts, cultural conversations with RAG in particular. So know that all of RAG will be informed either through us or certainly through our key funders that are active. I know that education group has not been as active recently because we were talking to David Markey and our contact Jessica Blosher at K-Fritz about that recently. Hey, Regie. And recently, meaning within the last 6 months, because we've been talking a lot about what we're doing right now with COVID-19, but know that our Any Given Child collective impact work has been put on pause at the moment, but it will continue. And part of that work included activating the philanthropic community to respond to some overarching general needs that we were assessing collectively, which included need for data, more data and more data, and visualization of that data. These were some big asks that we were already putting out to the community before 2 weeks ago. So we had started an initial conversation to create a philanthropic or development committee of Any Given Child. And the two key stakeholders in that were David from the commission and Jessica Blosher from K-Fritz as two of the area's largest supporters of culture and education. So now we're switching gears a little bit because of COVID, but we will be going back to our Any Given Child work because collective impact, I think, especially around equity and diversity, equity, inclusion are going to be so important, even more so right now. So yes, we will be getting the word out about this product, this portal to all of those stakeholders. So thanks for asking about that, Karen. Anyone else have any questions or ideas, thoughts, concerns they want to share? No? Let's see here. I'm looking at the list. I see Ashley's on. Regie, how are you doing today? Is there anything you want to share with the group? You're on mute.
Yeah, no immediate updates, but great to see everyone. Thank you for yesterday too.
Oh, of course. You're very welcome. Just to share, for those of you, there are a couple teaching artists on even right now, but for those of you that are part of cultural institutions, know that we're very concerned about our teaching artist community, as I'm sure you are as well, for your respective teaching artists at your institutions that you work with. And we're going to have a small core group of teaching artists continue some conversations with us. We're brainstorming, popcorning some ideas that we can hopefully advance to be more supportive of our practitioner teaching artist community. And Regie and Karen are going to be part of that initial conversation. Okay.
Hey everyone, just popping in to say hey.
Hey,
Trey. For teaching artists, just a question, Lissa. Are we uploading things to the database from teaching artists directly as well? Like if teaching artists have materials and resources?
Yes, if teaching artists have downloadable or online resources, they should be completing that form as well.
Okay, great. So we haven't received a ton of submissions from teaching artists. Regie, I know that you have been teaching poetry in schools. Do you have like a certain curriculum or outline that you usually use with students in schools that could be transferable to the database?
Not that I want to give right now, and it's not really written out properly.
Okay.
That's
fair.
that makes sense. Yeah.
However, through Story Tapestries, I've got a 2 or 3 page bulletin sheet that we're distributing, so I could send that to you. Trey, I don't know that I have your email address.
Okay, let me in the, how do I put it in the chat? I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay.
How I can put it in the
If you could just,
doing it. We got it, Trey. Don't worry. Tracy's doing it.
And if you
Okay.
could just, email intro. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, right there. It's Trés, Tres, at DC Collaborative. Everyone at the Collaborative, it's just our first name at dccollaborative.org. The only other address that you should be mindful of for the Collaborative is community@dccollaborative.org, because that's the address when you have a calendar date for programming. If you want it to live on our calendar, you would invite community@dccollaborative.org to that event from your calendar. And then that's how that community calendar gets populated.
I have a question for Trey.
Yeah.
My files are big, and I'm having problems with that. Can you zip a file?
Yeah. I saw your files, Tom. So I am gonna try and upload them. I saw you submitted one for Amelia Earhart and Katherine Johnson, right?
They worked. I have two more that are too large, but I could break them into chapter 1 and 2, couldn't I?
Or is there any way that you can upload the? So I went on the website that you sent, and is there any way you can add a page on your website where you can upload those files to the website?
I'm working on it right now. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that would be the easiest. There's a way you can upload the files to the website, so then people can download them from there, and then you can share that link.
How about this idea? If it's a video, how about uploading it to YouTube, putting it on the website where you could just look at it?
Yeah, if it's a video, either uploading it to YouTube, if you have a YouTube channel, or you can also upload videos to Google Drive, and they can be viewable there. Yeah, that's what I was suggesting before. You can upload a video to Google Drive and then share the link that way. That works for us.
Yeah. It just needs to be something that's online and ideally downloadable. I've noticed as we've been going through all of the submissions from you all that Trey has been getting up so quickly, they vary. They could be things that are parked and live on your website already. Some people have sent Google Forms, Google Sheets as well. So it depends on what your tech capacity is as well.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of like what Lissa was just saying, if you have the ability to upload the documents to your personal website and then have them be able to be downloadable from your website, like that's great for us because it helps us link something back to if someone wants to find more information out about your organization, they can see your website as well as the documents. But like Lissa said, some people are sending PDF documents just directly to us, and then we can make those shareable. So then when someone clicks on your organization and the resource that you've given us, it just opens up the document directly. But then like Lissa said, some people are having us directly to their website where the document lives there.
Yes, I have a YouTube channel of my own.
Okay. Great.
That would be the link. That's perfect. Yeah.
And then if you only want it to be viewed by certain people, then you can make the video unlisted and then share with me the unlisted link. And so then the only people who are viewing it are people who have access to the link and not anyone on the general YouTube platform. So if you just want it to be viewed by specific students or by only people who are viewing our database, then you can do that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. Super. All right. Well, thanks for walking through that, Trey, because I know we are receiving, and what I encourage you all to do is take a look at the database itself so you can see what other colleagues and peers, organizations, individuals have posted, because I might give you ideas as well, but you can see how it varies. But what will be key moving forward is identifying those curricular connections as much as possible. That's going to be very helpful for our friends at DCPS, but also for parents and caretakers that are looking at and making some choices as well for their kiddos. That's something important that we would want to make sure you're including in that. And again, once we can get our curricular connection, community conversations going again, we will. Does anyone else have any questions as we're wrapping it up for today? No. Another thing just to share with you all, because the collaborative wants to remain as transparent and as possible with you, what we're doing to try and be supportive of the community too. So we are looking at how the community can support teaching artists in particular. And we're having that core team conversation to start, and more will unfold there. We're also starting a conversation with a couple of key arts education service organizations that mostly focus on out of school time, after school. We're having a conversation with our friends at Sitar and Project Create to talk a bit about how they're being impacted by this, what they're looking to do, what we can do to support our arts service, our community-based arts organizations as well, because that's such an important group to the work that we do too. So know that we're looking at finding ways to be as supportive as possible to all of us that make up the membership of the DC Collaborative. Well, if there aren't any additional questions, I'm going to take advantage of my awesome emoticon that I just learned and give everyone yay. We should all applaud ourselves, or let's applaud the launch of this new tool for students and parents and caretakers. Yay. So check in your, jazz hands too. Check in, check, yay. Check your inbox for messages that are going to be coming to you. And please, please, please promote through all of your social channels, through all of your education contacts, this great resource. Even if your material isn't in there yet, share with your contacts that you're working on material, but that this is where it is, so that it can start to get shared and circulated more broadly. We'll be doing our part, but we need your help too. That's part of the collaborative and how we work together. And then also, please, by close of business on Friday, be sure to get that survey back to us, which is going to be so important. And again, I thank you so much, because I know you're getting, like Addie was saying, you're just getting overloaded on surveys and forms and things to fill out to support the community. I think it's because all of us, both at the local level and at the national level, you know, especially in the education community, we're so concerned about our students and what resources they have now, and all of the homeschooling that now happens. You know, our parents and caretakers. This is really critical work that we're doing as the arts and cultural community, and we'll do our best to keep getting the message out how important this work is, and make sure that stories are generated about this as well in our local media too. So we're doing our best to work on that as well. So if you look in your chat, you can see the survey link. You can see the address for sending calendar invitations, and as well as up further the form. Okay, that's the form. And then also up further the actual link to the database. But you will be getting an email in the next 9 or so minutes launching that. So it's like this was our little embargoed press group conference together today. But thumbs up indeed. Well, thank you all. It was great to see everybody. Everyone be well. Try to get outside, take a break, take a lot of deep breaths, do some meditation. We're actually going to be posting something from Freer Sackler. They're doing online meditations, I think 4 times a day. So Freer Sackler Museum, that might be something you might want to consider if you need a break, or share that with others too. But everyone be well, and we'll be on again tomorrow at 11. So thank you. Bye, everybody.
And we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, and we'll talk tomorrow. Bye.